Welcome to episode 13 of Victoria's Knitting Podcast. I am your host Victoria, and here we talk about everything I have been knitting in the past month. So, we're already in March. We're slowly approaching fall here in the southern hemisphere, and I couldn't be happier. The heat is going away, and now the colder days are approaching. Everything is wonderful. We did have some heat waves here. It was awful, so I couldn't knit a lot because I didn't felt like touching wool. I don't know if you get me, because of course I only knit sweaters, so of course I didn't want to knit one. So we are going to be talking about what I have done, and I will give you updates about it. So first of all, it's the sweater number 9. You already know it. Beautiful sweater, Raglan. This is by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and this design, as I mentioned, it's Raglan, knitted in the round. It has these beautiful increases, which are the reason why I decided to knit this. This sweater doesn't have any back shaping, so what I decided to do was to addition just myself just some rows of like a back shaping that I saw on a blog online. I will link it down below because I don't remember the name, but I knew that this was a practice, but I had never done it before, so I had to look online, and it's super easy just to do the short rows in the back. Well, I don't know if they are called short rows, but like the back shaping here before you do the ribbing. Okay, so let me tell you about the sweater. I had actually finished or almost finished one of the sleeves, and just before I cast off, I decided to frog it and start all over again. And let me tell you why. I decided to do some additional decreases because I felt like the original design, the sleeves were a little bit too big and I didn't like them. But then I realized that they look nicer than what I had done, because the sleeve ended up being too skinny, too close to my arm, and it didn't look really nice. So I decided to frog it and start all over again. I'm going to do it just as instructed in the pattern. I'm knitting the sleeves with my DPNs because you know that I hate magic loop. It looks very ugly whenever I do it. So this is nicer. For me, it's easier and it looks very nice, very cutesy. Not many updates about this. I did finish the body. It does look great on me. I'm not going to try it on because as I just started to knit with the DBNs, I'm scared that some stitches are going to fall off, so I want to avoid that. So this is going to be folded and I'm not going to be talking about it anymore. I didn't mention the yarn because maybe you haven't seen my previous episode, but this is some yarn that I got in a store here in Uruguay, and I didn't have any kind of labels. That's something that usually happens to me because I usually buy yarn in places that they don't have labels on it, so I don't know what I need. Now let's go to the other thing that I'm knitting. I am knitting a Sophie Scarf. This is my first Sophie Scarf ever. I know, a shocker, because I feel like everyone has knitted this pattern, but if you haven't knitted or haven't heard about it, this is a design by Petit Knit. This is like her most popular design. I think it is even the second most sold pattern on Ravelry. And it's this garter mini scarf, which has an I-cord edge, and it's really cute. Once I started to knit this, I realized why it is so popular, and the reason is because it's easy to make, but it also makes you have to pay attention to it, because you have to do the increases and the decreases, and if you don't pay attention you will do things wrong. So you do have to pay attention to the design, and I really like it. It's really cute. I haven't finished this because I ran out of yarn, because I was knitting this with some scraps. Maybe you remember that I had knitted the Easy Peasy bandana some time ago, and I don't know, I never managed to make it look flat. I vlogged it and it was always rolling, and I don't know, I didn't like it. So I decided to throw it and start knitting this. I thought that I didn't have more yarn and I will have to wait till I do something that I will tell you right now, but as I was like putting things in order to record this video, I found out that I have some grams of the cashmere that I used to knit this left on a basket. So I am just going to finish this once I finish recording this video, because it's just some centimeters left and I'm going to have a finished object. I'm super excited. I haven't had a finished object in months. It's going to be my first finished object of the year, so that's going to be great. About the cashmere, also cashmere that I got in a store around me, it didn't have any labels. It's lovely, it's soft, it has a really great color because it's this gray, which is completely not flat. It does have some specks of like a darker or lighter gray, and I just love it. And it's really warm, so I'm really excited about this piece, and I feel like it's going to be very useful for me. Now, let's go for my third work in progress. I was scrolling on Ravelry, as one usually does, and I was like looking at free patterns, because why not? And I discovered something. You might have seen the pressed flowers cardigan or shawl. Well, I did found a free version of a pressed flowers bandana. This pattern was published by the author of the other two patterns I just mentioned. I forgot her name, but I'm just going to put all the data here and also on the description box. And this pattern was released alongside Hobby Yarn, and guys, it's beautiful. Like, I'm obsessed. I can't stop knitting this. When I found this pattern, as I mentioned, I was scrolling in Ravelry before I went to sleep, and it was like 11:30, and I was like, I need to cast on this right now. But I decided to be smart, because the next day I will have my spinning class at 6:30 in the morning. So I was like, no girl, you can't cast on a project. You need to be sleeping now. You're going to be awake like in 6 hours, because you have to get ready for your class. So I decided to go to sleep, and the next day when I was free, I decided to cast on this. And I don't know what to tell you guys. This is probably one of the most beautiful things that I have ever knitted, and I am obsessed with it. It's so cute. I'm knitting this in acrylic. Right now it's just some scraps that I had laying around. My mom actually used this blue yarn to knit herself a sweater, and I used this to knit one of the classic grape hats by Pearl Soho. I'm pretty sure I showed you that hat before I gave it away. But here I have two new skins of the yarn. One is this one, is called Beslam, 40 grams. This is by Vesubio Hilados. I think it's a brand that's only sold here in Uruguay. I have tried to search for it online, and yeah, it only shows up on Uruguayan pages. So yeah, but this is like a finger weight acrylic, probably really nice to knit socks. it's really high quality, even though it's super cheap. My mom has needed quite a few garments, and I also need my vest, the tarot vest, which you have probably seen here because it's like my favorite thing I have ever knitted. But yeah, I knitted with this yarn, and the one that is the change colors, the changing color yarns, that's how it's called, is this one, the Soccer Yarn Multi. This yarn, I found it on my supermarket. It's a German yarn. It's also 75% acrylic, 24% polyamide, and I don't have idea what is the name of it because it's nowhere to be found here. I don't know, it was really cheap on my supermarket. I found it just once and then never again, but I didn't know what to do with it. And now that I'm knitting this bandana, it's just looking so beautiful. Well, like this. I'm so going to be wearing this once it's cold. I'm just in love with this. This is probably one of the prettiest things that I have ever knit. I'm really wanting to knit one of the shawls or maybe the cardigan, maybe like someday. But for now, I will be happy with this, but this design, it's just too good. Well, those were my works in progress. And as I don't have any finished object, I was thinking about showing you my future plans for like once I finish everything, or probably once I finish the sweater number 9, I will allow myself to do something like more, something bigger, because like the other 2 small projects are just like things that I have with me around just whenever I want to knit like something for just a few minutes, and like the sweater I have to sit down and knit it, you know. So let's talk about my future plans. You already know this one. This is my Esther jacket. I made a video about it, and it's one of the most viewed videos in this channel. I love it. She's iconic. The pattern is also by Petit Knit, and she's amazing, but she has 2 issues. One is that the sleeves are too short and that the body is too long. So it's easy to fix it because I'm going to just shorten the body and make the sleeves longer, because what the heck was I thinking when I needed this? I think I was hoping that with the blocking and with the wear, the sleeves were going to get longer, but yeah, no, it didn't happen. And I just have like like 10 centimeters of my arms in the air, which doesn't make sense because this cashmere in which I knit the cardigan, which is the same that I use for the Sophie Scarf, is extremely warm. So it's just like this part of my body in the winter is going to be cold and the rest of my body very hot. So yes, I'm just going to take some like 10 centimeters. I'm planning on trying sticking for the first time, so I might cut the piece and then like attach the elastic. I don't know what I'm going to do, or maybe I just get scared and I just decide to just frog this and knit the elastic once again. I don't know what I'm going to do at the end, but let's see what I do. And maybe I will try to do like a vlog while I mend this cardigan. Yes, that's my plan, like my fixing plan, my mending plan, which I'm going to do once I finish the sweater number 9, because I was like, I'm going to do that in the summer and I never got to do it, and now it's going to be the perfect weather to wear a cardigan, so I will try to fix this before I start wearing it again. And then I will allow myself to cast on the Clementis vest, which I think I have already talked about it, and I'm going to be knitting this with Fino from Manos de Uruguay, which is a 70% merino wool, 30% silk. This is on the colorway Guardian Case. Is a really nice green. It's a light fingering weight yarn, so my plan is to hold it double, so I'm able to meet gauge, which for the best is a decay. So that's my future plan. And I usually don't have many acquisitions, but this time I have 2 new things to show you. It was my birthday. I turned 29 and my cousin got me these 2 gifts. My cousins, because it were 2 people. One of them, the 2 of them gave me just 1 gift, okay? The first one is this yarn. It's like a macrame yarn. This is 85% cotton, 50% other fibers. Who knows? And this is like Euro Roma Espresso Light, and it's on the colorway Alecrim. And I'm planning to do a basket with this on crochet, because whenever I want to film the podcast, I start piling things like on top of my table here or my desk, and just here I have another piece of furniture right there. I forgot which is the name of in English, but yeah, just something. And I don't really like putting things just in place where they don't belong, so I will do like a basket, which will be like the podcast basket. So whenever I have something that I want to speak on the podcast, I will put it there, because sometimes it happens that I'm like, oh, I didn't mention this thing, and it is because I just had placed it in some place and I forgot about it. So I'm planning on making like a small basket. I even do have some other macrame left over, which is like a white and off-white color, and I think the colors are going to look really nice together. So yeah, I'm going to give it a good use. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but probably, I don't know why I was going to say probably. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I will get to do it sometime. Whenever I get mad with everything that I'm knitting and I decide that I need a break, I'm going to do some crochet and I'm going to knit the basket. And I also got gifted this very basic crochet needle set, hook set. I already have a lot of crochet hooks, but it's always useful because I lose them sometimes, or it's just I put them on a bag and I forget about them. And I don't really have like really thin hooks, so yeah, I might try to do something with them, something different. But it was a great gift, a really nice gift for someone creative. Yeah, I really appreciate my cousins for doing this for me. So that was everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please leave me a like, a comment, or maybe consider subscribing. I am planning to upload some vlogs, but yeah, that's for the future. So let's see each other in the next one. I hope you all have a great month, and that's it. Adios.